have so many friends here. 93, 93 friends. That makes me so happy that you're here to spend some time with me and learn a little bit about the Stitch Society membership and everything that is involved. And we have, I want to share some of the comments that I'm seeing. Friends joining us from all over the world. Stacy's learning a lot. Francine says, awesome summit. Gwen says, love it. Thank you so much for putting this together. Uh, Someone says, wish I had taken PTO so I wouldn't be so far behind. Excellent information and so valuable. Dose is really struggling with a mystery knit along, but loving the summit. Sorry about the mystery knit along. Judy says, excited, learning so much. This is the first time I've participated in something like this. And Lori is doing good and watched the session, Holly session about Intarsia and is now ready to try it. And Maria is having so much fun working on the Mosaic coaster. So welcome everyone. Thank you for joining me for this. I am excited to share this little cozy corner of my world with you. I know we have a few Stitch Society friends who have popped on to join us as well. So welcome. I'm glad that you are all here. And we are getting ready to celebrate. I was looking at the calendar. December is going to be 4 years of having this membership, and it has made a big difference for me personally, not just as a knitter, but just in all aspects of my life, having this community to turn to connect with. And I want to share it all with you and let you know what it is. And I'm happy to answer any questions. So if you have questions about the membership, please go ahead and feel free to ask them in the chat. And I will also keep an eye on the Q&A box that I think I have enabled. Yes. All right. So I'll check in on you all every so often. But if you have questions, let me know. And I'm going to switch over to sharing my screen. Sharing slides. All right. So welcome to behind the scenes of the Stitch Society membership. Oh, Anita, that's so sweet. Anita says the Stitch Society is absolutely worth being a part of. So an announcement I've kind of trickled out. I haven't made like a big deal, but it's been mentioned in some emails. So typically when I run a summit, I offer a 30-day trial to anyone who goes ahead and does the upgrade for the VIP Happy Knitters Toolkit, any new members that haven't been a part of it before. And because I want, not just to get to know you through the summit, but I want to give you that next step, that thing that we can do together to keep the fun and keep the knitting joy going together. And this year I decided that maybe not everyone was interested in the ongoing access, but maybe there were some of you who wanted a little peek inside, a little shorter trial inside the membership. So every Knit Happy Summit attendee has the option to claim all new, if you haven't been a member before, the option to claim a 14-day trial, so a 2-week trial in the Stitch Society membership. And I'll drop that link over in the chat, but it is knit. I have to learn how to spell while I'm talking. It's knithappysummit.com/trial. And hopefully that link worked. If you have the upgrade to the Happy Knitters Toolkit, then you get access to a 30-day trial, and that is in your classroom so that you can claim it through there. So everyone can visit the knithappysummit.com/trial if you want to give it a try for 14 days and 30 days if you have the upgrade. But before you claim that trial, right, you might want to know what it is, what's included, and all of those details. So that's why we are here together today. And very sweet comments. Is that Denise, I think, says, I second that, and Kay says third. Sue asked if I am streaming to YouTube, and I should be. I can double check that actually. Yes, it is on YouTube as well. Yes, I see some comments. Michelle, I see, is watching over on YouTube. And so thank you for checking on that. There are so many moving parts and so much technology. So if you prefer to watch on Zoom, you can head over to there. but I wanted to I'll be able to see your comments if you are on Zoom. And yes, John, I'm going to explain right now. So yes, so the Stitch Society membership is something that it's very close to my heart. It's something that I built because it's something that I wish that I had had. And so for those of you who don't know me super well yet, I am Jessica A's, the designer, instructor, and founder of Double the Stitches, the creator of the Stitch Society membership, and your host for the summit, the Knit Happy Summit. And over the years, I've worked in a local yarn store. I teach at my local library. And one thing that I have found as yarn crafters is that I think we spend a lot of time searching for answers, searching for just the right pattern, just the right yarn, sometimes searching for connection. And so this is a membership that I built going back to December 2021. And I was still home with my children were home doing school from home during those times, those 2020, 2021 years. And I was seeking that connection. And so that was something that I didn't have. I wasn't working in person in the yarn store anymore. And I missed being able to connect with knitters. And I taught my first online workshop and was trying to figure out what could I offer people next. And so that became this membership, the Stitch Society. And I created it with you in mind, with myself, but also with you in mind. So I understand and know well the frustration of searching for help online, asking questions in gigantic groups of 10, 20,000 people, and sometimes getting criticized for asking a question. Sometimes the answers are not so kind, right? I don't know if you've ever been in that situation. And sometimes the advice isn't great. Um, Sometimes people aren't, taking the time to fully understand the question. And I felt disconnected from having a yarn community, not being in person at the yarn store anymore. And I found myself wishing and dreaming and hoping to find like-minded individuals like you and me who create because we couldn't imagine not creating. Creating because we're driven to it, inspired by it, need the outlet because it keeps our hands busy, it keeps our minds calm, it keeps us peaceful. And some days, at least for me, I know it is the only thing that keeps me sane. And so I wanted to create a solution that combines education, community, and connection all in one place, all of that camaraderie all in one place. And so I came across this comic strip that kind of describes that my husband and I are not, in our 70s like Earl and Opal Pickle are. It is a daily and Sunday comic strip by Brian Crane, and it focuses on this retired couple. And so Opal does a lot of crafting, knitting, and crocheting. And I'm wondering if any of you have someone like this in your life who really does try to pretend that they're interested in what you're doing, but they don't really get it. They don't really understand. And so Earl is leaning over the couch and Opal is knitting. And he looks over and he says, so what are you knitting? And she says, a scarf. And he says, oh, how do you do that even? How do you even do that without looking? And she wants to know, are you really interested in how I do it? And he says, no, but I'm pretending I'm interested. So isn't that worth something? And it absolutely is worth something. I don't want to discount that if you have someone in your life who tries to understand and appreciate that those things that we love, those things that drive us. But it's nice to be able to connect with people who do get it. And so that was why I created the membership. So who is it actually for? We'll talk about that first. So it is for avid knitters who are seeking the camaraderie of knitting circles. Maybe you've been knitting alone for too long. Maybe you crave the companionship of like-minded friends. If you love the energy of the Knit Happy Summit, I can't say that the membership has quite as many. We don't have, 7,000 people attending, but the warm-hearted willingness to share and happy to answer questions and share advice and tips and tricks and all of that. Knitters do sometimes struggle with complex patterns. If you need a supportive community to help you decode tricky instructions without spending hours and hours going down a rabbit hole on YouTube and watching 6 videos and coming up with like 7 different answers and not knowing which one is the good advice, right? And knitters that have unfinished projects and maybe maybe multiple half done pieces and are looking for some accountability, some motivation, and focus to finally complete those projects. Maybe you're a social butterfly and you enjoy collaborative projects and knit-alongs and workshops and working on things together in community. And working on knitting patterns with others that are working on the same pattern and sharing that sense of community together. Or maybe you are a knitter who struggles with pattern comprehension and you just want some place where you can go and ask and get an actual real solid answer to what does this mean. So knitters who struggle with pattern comprehension, there are cheat sheets and resources. You get me, a designer who really does truly care about your success as a knitter, and knowledgeable peers, so you can begin to understand and follow those patterns that are a little bit more difficult or tricky. And of course, I know you want to know what is actually included in the Stitch Society membership. Let me just quickly check on the chat. JJ says, I mostly get, what is that? Is it for me? When will I get one? And Francine says, I think someone is spying on me and my hubby to write the Pickles cartoon. All right, so let's keep going, friends. So this is my opportunity, my way of really trying to spoil you. So there are 11 deep dive, I think now it's actually 12 because I just finished another workshop that I taught, deep dive workshops. So these are not like the summit sessions. These are, they range from say 90-minute workshops to things that I have taught over a series of weeks. Things like a brioche knitting workshop that I taught over 6 weeks, challenges that I have run over a week or 2 weeks. So it's a lot of content in there, a lot of answers to how do I do this on different topics like knitting cables and lace. I mentioned brioche. If you have the Happy Knitters Toolkit, you get my double knitting workshop, which was something that I did. I don't know that was a week or 2 weeks. Learning how to knit socks from the cuff down or from the toe up. Those are 2 separate workshops that you get access to. Learning how to fix your own knitting mistakes, from dropped stitches to incorrect stitches, like you were supposed to make a purl stitch, but you made a knit stitch and you want to know how to switch that. Things like picking up missing yarn overs, dropped yarn overs, accidental yarn overs. There's in my cable course, I teach you how to fix a cable that went in the wrong direction. You also get a pattern from me every month. So you get a code. At the beginning, I was giving everyone access to whatever pattern that I had mostly recently released. And as time has gone on, it occurred to me that maybe I am publishing a hat pattern coming up or a sock pattern, but you are expecting in your family or circle of loved ones a new baby, right? And so you don't really want to knit an adult hat. You want to knit a baby blanket or a baby hat. So giving you a code that you can redeem on Ravelry each month and claim a pattern that fits with where you are in your knitting life, in your knitting journey. Maybe some patterns are more advanced, maybe some are more beginner. So rather than whatever is the most recent pattern, which you're welcome to use the code on the most recent pattern, but you have that choice. And I think it's 66 patterns published now, or 67, I don't know, I lose track. So I've been publishing patterns for a while, and you get your pick of any of those patterns. You also get twice a month stitch sessions on Zoom where we get together and socialize and chat. If you have come to any of the stitch sessions that we have hosted, yesterday's was a great example of that, with knitters coming with questions or things that they want to share going on in their life. Sometimes I have the answer, but I am aware enough, I don't know what the right word is, aware enough to know that I don't have all of the answers, right? There are absolute knitting experts who know all of the things. Your Edie Ekmans and your Kate Atherleys, and I don't claim to be them, but I have a lot of answers and a lot of experience. I've made a lot of mistakes in knitting, and that's how I have learned to solve problems. But you also get the benefit of getting together on Zoom with fellow knitters who have many, many years of their own knitting experiences that they can pull from. And so I do open it up not just to me being the only voice in the room, but to that shared community sense of knowledge. And there are also, you get priority pattern support on my designs. So if you're struggling with something on my design that one of my patterns is not exactly clear, there is a form where you can submit, or you can send me an email, and either you'll be at the top of the list of any pattern support emails that I need to respond to. And depending on what the question is, it'll either be a more detailed email response, or sometimes I will turn on my camera and film a tutorial for you. The last one that I most recently filmed wasn't from one of my designs, but someone was working on it. I don't ask you to send me patterns. Maybe I'll ask for a paragraph of the pattern that you're struggling with, or if I need to see more of the pattern, I'll go ahead and purchase that pattern myself, not charging you for it or anything like that. I try not to do that all the time, but I will, if I need to see more of the pattern, because I want to respect other designers and their copyright. So I wouldn't ask you to send me a full pattern, but a snippet of something that you're struggling, or if I need to see more, I'll buy it. And I filmed a tutorial for someone that was struggling with how to add a knitted on lace border. It was, I believe it was like a crescent shaped shawl. And then after the shawl was the size that it needed to be, they were knitting on the border instead of binding off, and they were struggling with understanding how exactly to do that. So I made a video tutorial and I added it to our Stitch and Technique library, which is growing. Sometimes it grows with workshops, because I sometimes like to go a little bit deeper on topics. So sometimes it's a short, answer to something, and sometimes it becomes something larger with multiple videos, depending on what the topic is. And there are replays of Fiber Friends interviews and events. So where I have brought in other people from the yarn world and just invited them to join for a casual chat. So you get the replays of those. And after the summit, I'll be picking that up again and inviting some more yarny friends to join me for a chat and share what it is that they do. Like the Happy Knitters Toolkit or the Extended Access Pass, there is a classroom that I can dive in and share what that actually looks like. But you get access to all of my my big deep dive workshops. And I've been building this classroom because I wanted an easy to use place where you can find dates for upcoming events, access to, again, the library of past workshops and videos, request pattern support, view recordings of different sessions. These are some of the workshops that are included with your membership. And I'm just going to pop over to the chat and see if there are. Oh, Dawn asked a question, a new pattern every month. Do any of you get a monthly project done every month? So some of the patterns are hats or cowls, and some of them are larger projects like shawls or sweaters. So something that is small, like a hat or a cowl, something that is a one skein project. For most people, if they are knitting, a half hour to an hour a night, I think many knitters, not all, would be able to complete a project in that time. It depends on complexity, like Jennifer said. So it depends. A shawl might be a longer project, a sweater might be a longer project, but I do also love to create one skein projects, and socks and hats and things like that. Something else that I do, so some of the workshops that are included are Beginner's Guide to Lace Knitting, Conquer Cable Knitting, a Taste of Brioche, my Oops workshop. That's my Double Dare workshop. So if you have the Happy Knitters Toolkit, then you automatically get access to that. I have 2 workshops on socks, like I mentioned. I love for teaching, I love small projects where you can work on a new technique without it being an overwhelming project. So those are little mini stockings. They are about 24 stitches around. They're knit on US 6 needles. And it's only, it's like a gift card holder size or an ornament on a tree. And those are a great way to learn different techniques without diving into your first sock with fingering weight yarn and teeny tiny needles that can sometimes feel like toothpicks. Um, there is a question I see on YouTube. Margaret said, where do we access the workshops as they are happening? I keep getting emails about getting signed up, but no info on where to get access once signed up. Margaret, the best thing to do for anything customer service related for if you're asking about the summit, is to email us at knithappysummit@gmail.com, and then we'll have your email address because you've emailed us, and I can look and make sure that the that you have actually signed up. But it's the schedule page as part of the summit, and that should be linked in all of the emails that you're getting if you did sign up, and at the top of the page of the email and also at the bottom. So knithappysummit@gmail.com, and we can support you from there. Oh, and Denise says, I know Brian Crane. He lives near me in Sparks, Nevada, and I relate to Opal. Yeah, so a big inspiration for the membership in the community and all of that for me. I do really enjoy those comics. And these are just some of the workshops. There's also Fair Isle Fundamentals as part of the access in the membership. There are 11 or 12 workshops that you get. Those are on demand. So because they've already happened, they are recorded and you can watch them anytime on your own schedule at your own pace. You also get access to my Zoom if you would like to schedule a knit and chat with one or more of the friends that you make in the Stitch Society. These are not recorded, they're not streamed anywhere. So you can stay connected and forge new friendships, share your projects, seek advice, and celebrate others' achievements in a relaxed and welcoming environment. We do have two Stitch sessions that I host each month, but I am not available 24 hours a day, and we have members all over the world, from the West Coast to the East Coast of the US and Mexico. And we have Kay, who's here with us, is in the UK, and we have Sabine, who is in Austria, and I think we may have some in Australia. So time zones can be tricky, and I wanted to make an option where if you wanted to get together with other Stitch Society members, that you have the ability to do that. So you also get future workshops. There is a workshop coming up on sweaters, kind of an overview of sweaters coming up, and you get member only voting power. Sometimes I will be trying to decide on which way to shape the crown of a hat, or which stitch pattern do you like better for a shawl? And so I will post that in our private Facebook group and give you the opportunity to share your thoughts and let me know what strikes you. You also get invitations to join me for pattern tester calls for my knitting patterns. That is not a requirement by any means. It is just something that I do like to offer because some people want that opportunity to get to know more about the design process and have that additional, it's like a mini knit along, a pattern test, because you're not getting a really rough draft of a pattern. You are getting, the pattern is already formatted as it's going to be when it's published. And so we go through all of that together. And like I mentioned, we have a members only community group. Let me just pause and check on the chat. I am getting to that. Jennifer Maria says, I really enjoy test knitting patterns. Can I share the cost? It's coming. I think it's my next slide. Almost next slide. So there's a pattern every month, which is an $8 to $10 value. Monthly private stitch sessions would be, if I was charging admission for them, would be $30. Party pattern support on a monthly basis would be $15. Access to replays of all the Fiber Friends interviews and events that I've hosted and invitations to future ones would be $20 a month. Access to the library would be $10, and unlimited Zoom chat access would be $20 a month. So it's a value of over $1,200 in a year. And I know you're looking for the pricing. So the pricing will be going up after we celebrate our 4-year anniversary in December. But for right now, the membership That is an old slide, so that code doesn't work anymore. And rather than paying $1, you get a, I didn't update this slide, I'm sorry. But the price is accurate. The $27 per month, $149 if you'd like to join for 6 months, or the best price is $270 a year. But you can join as part of the Knit Happy Summit. You can get a 14-day free trial for at knithappysummit.com/trial, and I'll put that link over in the chat. Let me share that here. And if you had upgraded to the Happy Knitters Toolkit, then there is a form in there. At learn.doublethestitches.com. So if you have the toolkit, then you have access to claim a 30-day membership. I don't hold anything back. I offer the different price options to be as to make things as attainable for you, no matter what your situation is. So there are some memberships where, if you join for the year, you get extra stuff. And I want just to be able to, some people prefer, paying once a year, or they would rather break it down to 6 months, or some people prefer that lower monthly cost. But if you do sign up for a year after your trial, then it's like getting 2 months for free every year. $27 a month times 10 months is $270. So it's like getting 2 months for free. But making it trying to make it attainable for, whatever works best for you. So asked a great question. Does it auto renew at the same price, or will we need to remember to restart it? So it will auto renew either every month, 6 months, or year until canceled. Shar wants to know, how long do we have to activate it? We have so many appointments coming up. I'm not sure how much time I can be online. Let me check my calendar because I did pick a date for that. Let me find that, and I will give you that answer in just a quick second so that I don't give you incorrect information. I don't know what that is. So the last date to activate your trial, whether it is the 14-day trial that all members get, is the 21st, or also the 30-day trial, so November 21st. So if you activated on the 21st, then you would have access with the 14 days until December 5th. And or if you activated sooner, then that 14 days ends before that. Let me see if there's anything else in over on YouTube. Any other questions? I know some friends were watching there. Okay, so nothing over on YouTube at the moment. And I have so many windows open right now. And Cheryl says, how many summits do you host? So this is the third one, this third summit that I am hosting. And I'm going to go over and share the classroom with you as well, just so you can get a peek at what that looks like. So this is my third one. I may be doing another one in March or late spring. I want to make sure it's not overlapping with any other summits. And let me share. Barbara asked a question, what days are the meetings? So the 2 stitch sessions, okay, okay, send me an email, and I will send you the link where you can update your address, and I hope you're getting settled in to the new place. So the meetings, the schedule for those tends to vary because I'm accommodating different time zones and all of that stuff. So typically, and also working schedules and life schedules. So typically we will have one stitch session on a Tuesday or Thursday evening is usually what works best with my life. And then, so those will usually be about 7 o'clock Eastern. And then, and I can share. So the next one will be on Thursday, the 13th at 7 o'clock. And then I do one usually on a Saturday or Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock Eastern. And that helps to accommodate our friends in Europe and so on. So because the 7 o'clock for our friends overseas is very, very late, but the 2 o'clock is an evening time for them. So let me go and log into the classroom and I will show you what that looks like. Let me just switch. That one should work. And I'll share the classroom with you all. And if you have, yes, Anita, thank you. Kay says there should be a lifetime membership option. And that's always the question that comes up, right? If we do lifetime, then is it my lifetime or your lifetime? Is it something you can leave in the will to the grandchildren? So it's that's my struggle with that. Let me switch over to sharing my screen so that I can show you a little bit inside the classroom. And the thing that I want to say though is that there are a lot of workshops. There are a lot. Is it the right one? Yes. Okay. So me and sharing my screen. So 11 workshops is a lot of workshops. It's a lot of content. And so my recommendation, just like with the summit, is to pick something that you are really interested or inspired in to learn and start there. Maybe make a list of, the top ones that you really want to watch, and then give yourself a goal to do that. Denise says like Green Bay Packers tickets. Yes. We're my husband and we're big Green Bay Packers fans, and all right, so this is the online classroom, and so all of my workshops and stuff are in here, but the Stitch Society membership is usually the first one listed. And I recently moved to this membership classroom platform because I found it was much easier to use. One of the things that I like about it is you can adjust the text size on your screen just with a click of a button. So that I find can be useful. If you're searching for a specific workshop, you can search up there. And we have different modules. So there's a welcome from me with a little video. There is a membership calendar. So that is right there. So you can print this out. You can also add it to your own digital calendar if you use one. There's a link to join our private community, which is on Facebook. The access to the Zoom login is there, as well as the extra Zoom where you can schedule time with other members. A place to update billing details, cancel or pause your membership is a very short form. I recommend using the form as compared to canceling in your payment account, because if you cancel directly in the payment account, it automatically removes you from the membership. But if you fill out the form, then you continue access through the time that you have paid for. Workshops, I was talking about what is included. So the workshops included are Oops, Learn to Fix Your Own Knitting Mistakes. There is the Beginner's Guide to Lace Knitting, Conquer Cable Knitting, a Mosaic Knitting Challenge. This is to knit a cowl as compared to the mini project that we're doing together through the summit. So it's an entirely different project. And many of the workshops, if they teach a technique, they include at least one pattern. So Conquer Cable Knitting includes 2 patterns. It teaches you knitting cables, fixing mistakes in cables, knitting cables without a cable needle, and reversible cables, and how to add cables to a project. Mosaic Knitting Challenge includes the pattern A Taste of Brioche. This was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a 6-week workshop, and that includes 3 patterns and a cheat sheet. in there. So we got everything from beginner brioche up to learning how to increase and decrease. The Double Dare workshop, which if you have the toolkit, you'll get access to that. The two mini sock workshops, Fair Isle fundamentals, and I started my yarn crafting with granny squares. So we have a granny square day in there. And you also have access to replays of Fiber Friends chats. So these are Dawn from Twice Sheared Sheep, Erin Clayton from Erin Designs, just naming a few, Emily from Wool and Palette, Irina from Fiber Chat. So there's a lot of friends there that have joined me. And that is the replays, and I'll be picking those up again after the summit. There are other resources as well. And one of my favorite things, I actually brought in a physical therapist, Emma Green. Someone was asking me for her name yesterday. Emma Green is a physical therapist. Her main focus is on tennis elbow, but she created this workshop for us. It was about an hour workshop to get access to the replay, how to stay healthy when stitching, how to knit more comfortably. And so she shares her stretches and tips and tricks for that. And then there is a little warm-up stretching sequence for stitchers that is included there. And is there anything else I wanted to share? The Stitch and Technique Library and some perks. So I have arrangements with some yarn companies and brands for a discount on some of their products. All right, so I'm going to head over to the chat and see if anyone has any other questions. Take care. Jennifer and Denise said, some of these lessons include patterns that are on my Ravelry page too. Yes, I see some questions in the Q&A. Rita says, will there be sessions for more advanced knitters, like how to make your own patterns for clothes, pointers, how to get the right sizes and shapes? So I don't really focus on teaching design exactly. I can answer some questions, but there are other memberships that focus more on actual design. JJ asked if there was, is it primarily knitters? I know a lot of us are multi-crafters, but wondering if it was set up for knitting specifically. So the patterns that I create at this point are just knitting patterns. That's what I found to be my happy place, is creating knitting patterns. I do have 3 crochet patterns, but there are many members that are also crocheters and do quilting and tatting of, lace and all kinds of other crafts, beading and all kinds of things like that. And someone asked, the membership price we signed up at is locked in as long as we keep the subscription active. Yes. So I am never going to come back to you and we'll call it pulling, I don't know, a Hulu. I think Hulu just did that to their subscribers, where you were signed up and you were paying a specific price, and then they decided to increase the price for everyone. So whatever price you join at will be locked in as long as your subscription remains active. If you cancel the membership and come back, then that would be at whatever the current price is. I hope that helps. Oh, Marie, thank you, Marie. Marie was sharing, and Kay suggested to share my Ravelry page. So I'll go and share that, just so you have an idea of what some of the patterns are that nope, that's my slides. We want to share the screen. So this is my Ravelry page. Nope. There we go. So currently 68 patterns and information on how to stay in touch with me. So this is the amazing mosaic coaster that many of you are working on. This was my last pattern that I published before that, is a reader's wrap or a pocket shawl that was part of Eagle Bend Alpaca Farm, which is a lovely farm in Kentucky. And they asked me to design a pattern. So it's inspired by the farm and knitting by the fire and all of that. This was my most recent, before that is a double, it's called the Double Win Mosaic Shawl. So if you are loving knitting the coaster and you would like to explore more mosaic knitting, this is a shawl. This was actually knit with Bad Sheep Yarns, and I'm going to have Marcy with us in just under 20 minutes, 18 minutes or so. So it uses a fingering weight yarn. This was the pattern that is included in the Fair Isle Fundamentals workshop. As I said, I like to take a small project and teach a technique or skill. So in this, we learn Fair Isle knitting, and then we also learn how to steek something. So you may have a sweater that you would like to knit and steek, and that would rattle my nerves. So I wanted to show you how to practice that with a smaller project. So there are also cowls. Not everything is a shawl. This is, there's a hat and a cowl are two separate patterns called Be Unique rather. And this is the brioche hat that is included in the A Taste of Brioche workshop that you get access to. This is a sweater. This is what I was wearing this sweater yesterday, and we're going to do, I think, a knit along in January after all the holidays are over. And so sometimes it's, you know, a cabled ear warmer is the pattern, which is great for gifting. This is another shawl that I designed that has an asymmetrical shawl with some lace. So you get your pick of different patterns, and there's a lot of different variety there. So these are some of them. This is my reversibility cowl that's included with the cable workshop. And so it has cables on both sides of the fabric. And these are a few different ways that you can wear that. Yes, so that's a kind of sneak peek at some of my designs. Oh, thank you, Marie, and thank you, Julie. Yes. So does anyone else have any other questions for me? Anything that you're wondering about the membership? Anything that I can answer? If you have summit related questions, the best thing is to send an email to us at knithappysummit@gmail.com, and myself and Janessa are manning that inbox and responding within, I'm saying 12 to 24 hours, but usually really sooner than that. And I do hope that you'll give the Stitch Society membership a try. There is the trial, 14-day trial for everyone at knithappysummit.com/trial. And inside your classroom, if you have the Happy Knitters Toolkit, is access to join us for 30 days. So we have stitch sessions coming up within that time. In December, I'll be teaching my next workshop that you'll be invited to. When I teach a workshop, my members get it free access. So if you're a current member, you'll get access to the December workshop. And I'm working on my plans for workshops for 2026. And I always come to my members and I ask them, that's part of that voting power, is tell me what you want to learn. What can I create for you? How can I help you along your knitting journey? I'm just checking to see if there's any other questions or anything I can answer. Otherwise, I will let you get back to watching the workshop, and I hope that you'll join us in a few minutes. It's the same Zoom link for everything. Michelle says, I just got 5 of your patterns. That makes me so happy. And I love when you share your projects with me on Ravelry or post in the group or post on social media and tag me. I love seeing your creations. That's my favorite part of designing or of teaching, is getting to see what you learn and what you create from what I do. So, all right, then I am gonna let you all go, and I'll see you back online at 4 o'clock with Marcy from Bad Sheep Yarn. I hope you'll join us. Take care, friends. And if you have questions about the Stitch Society, also you can feel free to email. Let me know what you're wondering. I want you to make the best decision that you can for you. And sometimes being on the fence, as one of my mentors has told me, and I agree with her, being on the fence is the hardest place to be. And so that's why there's that trial that you can come in, and take a peek and see everything that's included and see if it's a good fit for you. But if you have questions, please feel free and ask. And Anita pointed out, yes, also discounts on future summits. So all of my members will get the extended access pass to the summits that I host. I can't give away summits that I don't host, that I'm not the running them, but the ones that I host, and there'll be at least one coming up in 2026. Oh, thank you, Jay. Kay says join. It's great. And Dorothy says, I've been a member of the Pattern Club for several years now. Between that and the generous bonus gifts, there are very few patterns that I don't currently own. This is the next one. Actually, these are the next two. The sock is coming out next. This was also knit with Bad Sheep Yarns. It's a toe up DK weight sock with a heel flap and gusset. And then as soon as I get through tech editing and testing, this is a hat pattern. This is in fingering weight yarn. We were talking today about using scraps. So it is fingering weight yarn, and then there's also a I don't know if this, I think this is a DK weight. Pretty sure this is DK weight. And these are Megs and Co. is the yarn for the hats. So yes, tech editing and testing on those as soon as I catch my breath from the summit. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate that. So yes, if you have questions, reach out and let me know what you're wondering so that I can help you make the best decision for you. And I hope you'll give it a try. I'll put the link in case anyone wants that. That's the link for the trial. And again, the best place to navigate the summit is either in the daily emails or the schedule page, knithappysummit.com/schedule. And I will see you all in about 10 minutes. Take care, friends.